Good morning, Facebook world. It's Saturday morning. My kids are in there playing, and I was going to do a little Facebook post yet. I thought this goes a little bit deeper than text messages. So relationships, do me a favor real quick. Ask yourself this question. Are there relationships that were in your life 10 years ago that aren't in your life now? Yep, probably. And there's relationships that were big in your life 20 years ago and probably aren't in your life right now either, right? So here's my philosophy is when a relationship is time to be done, I'm going to encourage you to use the Lightswitch technique. And what I mean by that is as soon as you know that the relationship is no longer what it is, turn the light switch off on it. Meaning that gives you the ability to turn the light back on or turn it back on or turn it back off again. And so many people treat relationships like a sunset where inevitably that relationship's going, gone. And I want you to accelerate that. Let me give you, for example. I'm going to put some books here in the comments, and I've been really working on recovery time and how fast can my mindset recover. And one of those books is called The Subtle Art of Not Giving Up, The Untethered Soul, Essentialism, and Radical Acceptance. All these books combined will help you get in a much better place mindset-wise. And so I have a few core values. One of my core values is I always want people to do what's best for them and their family, and I'll never stand in the way of that. See, how can you fault someone that does what's best for their family? And I think they should put their family first. And one of my old mentors used this quote is, people are doing the best that they can, and all of my suffering is my judgment of them. And so whenever somebody makes a decision that I might feel they should have made a different decision, I may not know everything that's going on. So I just make the assumption that they're making the decision that's what's best for them or best from what they know. Now, here's the thing is, when somebody makes a decision and you don't feel it's the right decision or it may negatively affect your family, you also don't have to keep that light on that relationship. You know, I see some friends right now that are going through things where they felt somebody should have done something or something else. And I've been going through that a lot in the last, I would say 6, 12, 24 months. And there's been many times where I thought people would do one thing and they did another thing. And all I do is when they make that decision, I wish them well. And I want nothing but the best for them. And it's kind of like they're in my home and then all of a sudden they make the decision to leave. And that's okay. When they leave and they drive away, I turn the light switch off. Now, here's where things get a little bit different. If you choose to leave our home, because that's what I look at my relationships as, and you drive down the driveway and I turn the light switch off once you're gone so the welcome light isn't on, no big deal. Now, if you choose to leave, I turn that light switch off and you come pounding on my door, now we might have an issue. Or if you keep wanting to come back and I've already turned that light switch off and now you want me to do things where you no longer, your decision made it so that there isn't something helping bring the energy, meaning I believe that you need energy in order to keep the light switch on. So if you make a decision that doesn't help pay for that energy and now you want to come back into the relationship and have that light switch still on, it doesn't work that way. See, this is where things might get a little bit funny is if you make a decision that's best for your family and it's not best for someone else's family, don't expect things to ever be the same. And if you guys struggle with this, I get real clear on your standards. My standards are, I always want people to do what's best for them. My other standards are your actions speak louder than your words. And I believe that you can only have so many relationships. So I'm very quick to turn the lights off on relationships as soon as people show their true intentions or their true colors. Meaning you have so many A's in your life. I believe you can have 36 A's. And these are the people where if a life event happens, you jump into action. You can only have so many B's. And you can only have, I believe there's 96 B's because in relationships, I believe you can only have about 120 real relationships. The rest of them are what I call transactional relationships. Now, if you're an A or a B and then you show up and you treat me like a C or a D, there's a good chance I might just turn that light switch off and make room for new relationships where there isn't all that back stuff. In fact, if you come back and you start stirring stuff up with my other relationships, I'll just completely cut you out. Meaning I'll move on quickly because the energy and effort that it would take to fix that or make things right, I'm not going to engage in that. I'm just going to move on to new relationships. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that energy that I would have spent trying to figure out why you were being a dink, or why, from my point of view, you were being a dink, or maybe you think I'm being a dink. And, probably half the time I was the dink and I still turn off the light switch because I don't have the time, energy, and effort to make things right. And I know this might be confusing, yet I think so many times we spend way too much time in the past, and we just need to move forward and move that energy moving forward. And guys, if you're anything like me, sometimes you make the best decision based on the information that you know, and then you look back and you realize you dumb screwed up. And if you do that, just move forward. Don't keep beating it up. You only have so much energy. You only have so many lights that you can keep on with the energy that you have. And even if it was you that screwed up, it's still okay to turn that light off, because the energy that it will take to keep that light on might not be worth it, where you could go light up 5 or 6 more lights. I might be completely confusing all of you guys. Here's what I'm going to ask is recovery time is important. Your mindset's important. You're going to screw up. Other people are going to screw up. And it doesn't mean that you have to wish anybody ill will. Yet it also doesn't mean that if people make decisions that you have to keep the light on for them. So anyways, I've worked really hard on time management. I've worked really hard on human base in relationships, on where you say yes, where you say no. Sarah and I were going over our goals, and we were driving home from our family counseling appointment last night. I said, honey, the thing that I'm most proud of is we've been able to get to where we are financially with keeping our schedule 9 to 5. And which means we don't work a ton of weekends. We don't work a ton of nights. Now, with that comes the opposite side of the coin. Right now, in this stage of life, here's what I'm doing really well. I'm doing my family really well. Second thing I'm doing really well is work. So, that doesn't leave a lot of extra time for friends and other things that I'd like to do, because I'm not going to be average in family or work right now. And so, that's where true friendships, even if that light's turned off and they come back 2, 3, 4 years later, you can turn that light back on and end up right back where you were. I'm going to tell you right now, if you're a friend that's needy and that light switch is off, and then you come back and you act needy, where we're like, you didn't do this or you didn't do that, guess what? I'm going to put my family first right now in this stage of my life, and I'm going to put my work first at this stage of my life. I've met thousands of people over the years, and I've had many, 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 many relationships. And there's many times where I won't talk with someone for 4 or 5 years, and we turn that light switch back on, and we end up right back where we left off. If you're a friend and you've gone out of my life, and when you come back to my home and we turn the light switch back on, and you're needy and you want to complain because I made choices that put my family first, and you're going to be upset with me about that, I'm probably going to kick your ass out of my house, because you're not a true friend. Meaning that's just not the way it's going to work. And if you're a friend that comes back in and you suck the life out of me because you're playing victim, or you're being entitled or anything like that, I'll kick your ass out of my house again too. And that might be abrupt. Yeah, life's too short, guys. There's only so much energy. And your recovery time is going to matter a lot. And all the small little choices add up. I will always be there for friends. If you need a hand up, I will be there. And yet I won't put my family in harm's way to be there for you. And I hope that you guys wouldn't do that either. So anyways, kind of went off on a little bit of a tangent here. Hopefully this helps you guys. And I don't always get it right. Here's what I know that I will get right. I will get my family right, and I will get my business right between 9 and 5, and anything else that falls in there is bonus. And I'll probably be below average in all the other areas of my life right now. With family and business, I won't be below average. And some people have a tough time understanding that. When you want to be above average in some categories in your life, you're going to fall short in other categories. And I'm fully aware of that, and I'm okay. So anyways, hopefully you guys found this helpful. If you did, leave some comments. Always open to looking at things differently. And I think that's one of the keys to all this, is always be open to a different view. All right, I'm going to go be dad again. I said I needed 10 minutes to do a video because they were playing nicely, and we'll go see if the house is still together. Talk to you later, guys.